that she made against him. It was not about corruption in the judiciary. It was not about inefficiency in the judiciary. It was not about how the judiciary runs. It was about huyu judge alisema mali yangu ni mali ya wizi.
Now, in that public statement, the deputy president says he has evidence on corruption against Lady Justice Maina. In his response filed before this House, have you seen any evidence adduced for corruption against Lady Justice Esther Maina?
I have not seen any evidence to show that indeed he has evidence of corruption influencing the judge to make the finding that the 200 million were proceeds of crime.
Okay. Now, this judgment
which leads me to my conclusion that this is personal vendetta.
What do you mean by personal vendetta?
Personal vendetta is you are here in Senate representing your people, you make decisions in Senate, you make debate in Senate as part of your constitutional mandate. You mention people who are not doing things right, and when you get out there, they threaten you. They tell you, when you say that again in Senate, I'll kill you.
Okay.
I'll get you removed from Senate to create fear. Personal vendetta. Now,
this judgment, which you've said is available at page 60 to 77, and you quoted it of volume 2A of your documents. Could you by any chance know what happened to this judgment?
Yes, I am aware that indeed the Deputy President did appeal against that decision.
Yes.
But on becoming Deputy President, the same was settled through a consent, a compromise, as it would be, and the money was returned to him.
The money was returned to him. Have you seen this consent that was recorded at the Court of Appeal?
Yes, I am aware of the consent.
Okay, you are aware?
I am aware that the consent was not arrived based on the merits or demerits of the case.
Okay.
It was just government bodies, because leadership has changed hands, and the second in command now is powerful. A few government bodies, Asset Recovery Agency, they went to court and they said they want to withdraw the case.
Finally, Honorable Mutuse, is there a decision of the Court of Appeal? A decision of the Court of Appeal upsetting or setting aside this judgment and the finding by Lady Justice Esther Maina about
to my understanding, and the lawyers in the House will also have the same finding. There is no decision of the Court of Appeal.
Have you seen any of this response?
Overturning Justice Maina's decision, and therefore Justice Maina's decision remains good law.
You have come through the response by His Excellency DP Gachagua. Have you seen any appeal decision setting aside?
No, there is
any order setting aside the judgment?
The consent is there, but there is no decision on merit from the Court of Appeal.
Okay. Honorable Mutuse, let's go to ground number 8, allegation number 8. And briefly explain to the...
Maybe before we leave there...
Yes.
It is important in terms of, because we are complaining about Article 160,
yeah.
for me to just read 165. A member of the judiciary is not liable in an action or suit in respect of anything done or omitted to be done in good faith in the lawful performance of a judicial function.
Okay.
Because that is a particular section we are complaining that the Deputy President has violated.
Okay. So in your opinion, does undermining the independence of the judiciary amount to gross violation of the Constitution?
Indeed, it amounts to gross violation of the Constitution. It will remember that we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the legislature where we sit, and the judiciary.
Is it proper for the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to make this kind of attacks? Is it proper in your opinion?
It is not proper at all.
Okay. And what, in your, again, to just wrap that point up, what channels...
Counsel, before you get there, you refer to a consent. Is it contained in any of these bundles? The senators would wish to look at that consent.
Honorable Mutuse, you said you have seen a consent. You are aware about it. Have you seen the consent?
It is not filed in our documents.
Yeah.
But in my ordinary course of business, I am aware of the consent.
Okay.
If it becomes necessary, the Senate has the powers to recall it. In fact, it is a public document because it is reported under Kenya law reports.
Fair enough. Let's go to allegation number 8 because of time, so that we don't take a lot of time and finish our time. What is the substance of your allegation number 8? Briefly, ground number 8.
Ground number 8 is that there are serious reasons to believe that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua has committed crimes under Section 132 of the Penal Code and Section 129 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. And basically here, it is on two folds. The two sections that we have cited, Section 132 of the Penal Code and Section 29 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, speak to state officers misleading the public, spreading falsehoods. And on the issue of Justice Maina, as we have shown evidence, it was personal vendetta because the Deputy President was attacking the judge based on a decision the judge had made. On the second one, in terms of the particulars, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua recklessly and unmindful of the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, as well as his membership to the National Security Council under Article 240 of the Constitution, both being positions that require one to be discreet and tempered, especially during moments of national crisis, addressed Kenyans on live television in Mombasa County and publicly made sensational statements against the National Intelligence Service, an essential national security organ, its Director General, and the officers.
And so you can hold on there. Do you have evidence to prove these allegations about a live television statement in Mombasa by the Deputy President? Do you have any evidence before this House?
Yes, we have annexed our video number 15.
May I request we play video number 15, please, Mr. Speaker?
Where did the rain begin to beat us? Where did we stop listening to the people? President William Ruto and I were the darling of the Kenyan people. By listening to them, by engaging them. And as a government, we have established institutions to ensure we not only listen to Kenyans, but also genuinely understand their concerns. We invest significant resources in these institutions, particularly the National Intelligence Service, for this purpose. It is clear there has been a failure in the intelligence and advice we are receiving, particularly concerning crucial government policies. The President of the Republic of Kenya today has admitted that it has come to his attention that the people of Kenya did not want anything to do with the Finance Bill 2024.
Honorable Mutuse,
President,
maybe we can...
There is an important
yeah, okay. You
has now agreed that we need to listen to the people.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with my boss, President William Ruto, because this information was not available to him. I know President William Ruto. Had he known 2 months ago that the people of Kenya did not want anything to do with the Finance Bill 2024, he would not have asked his parliamentary party to push it through. Yet, we have an organization paid by the public to give him and government such information. And that is where the problem is. We have a dysfunctional National Intelligence Service that has exposed the President, the government, and the people of Kenya. Had the National Intelligence Service briefed the President 2 months ago about how the people of Kenya feel about the Finance Bill 2024, so many Kenyans would not have died. property would not have been destroyed, offices would not have been touched, there would have been no mayhem. But they slept on the job. It had to take people to die, property to be destroyed, protests across the country for the president to know the truth of what the people of Kenya feel. Yet, there is an organization paid for by the public to brief the president and the government about the feeling of the Kenyan people. Officers of the National Intelligence Service, officers of the National Police Service have told me in confidence they did not get advance intelligence briefs about the magnitude of the protest in Eldoret, in Kericho, in Nairobi, in Githurai, in Embu, in Nyeri. Since independence, there has been protests around Parliament. Never have protesters invaded and gotten inside Parliament. Senior officers have told me in confidence they did not have an advance intelligence brief about the intensity of the protest so that they prepare in advance. The National Intelligence Service slept on the job. And the problem is simple. The Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Nuruddin Haji, was a junior officer in the National Intelligence Service before he was appointed as DPP. When he was appointed to the office of the Director General, because of inferiority complex, he chased away all the people who were senior to him when he was in the service, therefore crippling the capacity of that service and making it dysfunctional. 3 directors were chased away and reassigned to desk jobs in ministries. Mr. Speaker,
sir, we can pause it at that because of time. We've captured the parts. Now, Honorable Mutuse, the Deputy President recently addressed a press conference where he rubbished this allegation. He said it's pure hogwash, nonsense upon stilts. What is your specific complaint against the Deputy President in this allegation?
2 specific complaints. 1, the Deputy President is a member of the National Security Council. And if he has any complaints against the National Intelligence Service, yes, who also sit in the National Intelligence Council, he can raise those concerns there. So that we promote institutional leadership.
You mean the National Security Council?
The National Security Council created under Article 240 of the Constitution.
Yes. And
the Deputy President has forum. And like all other ordinary citizens, senators included, us, we can complain out there because we don't have an official institutional forum. The Deputy President has forum where he can raise his concerns. Number 2, this was a time of monumental crisis in the Republic of Kenya. And the statements were sensational and they would have made Kenyans to believe that our security organs are not functional and would have easily led to citizens running amok and the Republic getting torn apart and our national fabric getting destroyed completely. But even more importantly, I had learned Counsel Ongoya refer you to your oath of office. And I would wish that he also refers his client to the oath of due execution of office that he did swear. In the oath of due execution of office that the Deputy President took on ascension of office, it states as follows, that I will not directly or indirectly reveal such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy, emphasis, secrecy. He has said in the clip that we have played that officers of the National Police Service have told him in confidence that they had not received advance intelligence reports. That is what was contemplated by this oath of due execution of office, what Senior Counsel Orengo called addressing fears. That if a matter is committed to you as a state officer in secrecy, it must remain in secrecy. If you take it to a public press conference, then you have gone against your oath of office, and that is an impeachable offense.
This oath of office that you say the Deputy President takes, is it anchored in any clause of the Constitution?
Yes, the oath of office is in the third schedule of our constitution and therefore part of our constitution.
Can you read Article 148(5)(a) of the Constitution?
Even to begin with, under Article 74 of the Constitution, before assuming a state office,
Yes, yes.
acting in a state office, or performing any functions of a state office, a person shall take and subscribe the oath or affirmation of office in the manner and form prescribed by the third schedule or under an act of parliament.
Okay. And what about Article 148, paragraph 5A? What does it say?
Article 148, paragraph 5A.
Yes, yes.
It says the deputy president-elect assumes office by taking and subscribing A, the oath of affirmation of allegiance, and B, the oath or affirmation for the execution of the functions of office as prescribed in the third schedule. So it is a constitutional issue.
Finally, the deputy president in his press statement the other day, he said, even in other countries, the US, stable democracies, it's not uncommon to see heads of intelligence institutions being attacked or criticized by public officers. What is your comment about that specific remark?
Even in our country, it is not uncommon, but it depends on who is doing it. Mm-hmm. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya cannot behave in a manner that disparages the institutions of the state that he was elected to superintend, especially so when he has official institutional forum to raise those concerns.
Is there a forum where the Deputy President can conveniently raise these issues without undermining public confidence in the security system and public trust in these institutions that are paid by the taxpayer?
I have said earlier, under Article 240, the membership of the National Security Committee is number one, the President, and number two, the Deputy President.
Okay.
And the National Intelligence Service is a member, and therefore that can be canvassed behind closed doors in a formal way and a decision made so that we do not break down our institutions, instead we empower them.
Which article of the institution are you referring to, where the National Security Council is established?
Article 240, if my mind serves me right.
Okay.
And we can read it if we have time.
The other explanation by the Deputy President is that these agencies are accountable to the civilian authority and therefore not immune to criticism.
Article 240, establishment of the National Security Council. There is established the National Security Council. The council consists of the President, the Deputy President, so is a member by dint of Article 240.
Okay, okay.
He says they are subject to civilian authority.
Yeah.
Because of Article 1.
Okay. Yeah, because of time, let's go to the last allegation. Last allegation. That's ground number 11. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. Can you explain to the senators your specific grievance about this ground?
It is we are saying that the Deputy President has committed gross misconduct by bullying state officers.
What's specifically? Specific ground on that gross misconduct that you
we are
want
saying that
to take into consideration?
His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua bullied Kenya Medical Supplies Agency officials into awarding a tender for the supply of mosquito nets to Crystal Limited, his proxy company, that it submitted an irregular bid bond with the sole intention of fraudulently acquiring public property. That His Excellency, and basically in relation to KEMSA, so that we can paraphrase. KEMSA advertised a tender funded by the Global Fund, which is one of our major development partners in terms of delivery of healthcare in Kenya.
Yes.
The tender was valued at about 3.7 billion. At the time, the procurement process got botched up, and Senate would take notice that at that time, the peers in charge of public health and the CEO at KEMSA were dismissed by His Excellency the President.
Yes.
And then an acting CEO was appointed, and the acting CEO also saw an affidavit to to this regard. And the problem here was that there is a company, an Indian-based company, called Shobika.
Shobika.
And Shobika, because we have been told we are bringing in a company that was not part of the tender. In the evidence of the Deputy President, this company called Shobika is represented locally here in Kenya by a company called Crystal Kenya. And that is by the admission of the Deputy President himself in his own response. And Crystal Kenya is the company that we have demonstrated all the way from Nyeri to Malindi to Kilifi. That is the major special purpose vehicle that the Deputy President has been using to acquire property and to launder money. So this company is as an agency agreement with Shobika to represent them locally. And what happens, the evidence that we have placed on record is that when Dr. Andrew Mulwa is appointed the new CEO of KEMSA, at that time, investigations are going on into the irregular procurement of the 3.7 billion mosquito nets. And then one of the issues of interest in that tender is how Shobika submitted their bid bond, because the main complaint was that they submitted their bid bond outside the tendering period. So when investigations are going on, the Deputy President, who admitted live on television, called Dr. Andrew Mulwa, the acting CEO of KEMSA, and told him, I have sent my people, please give them that bid bond. And he said he did it because the people were wondering. And then we have annexed messages, WhatsApp excerpts, in the affidavit of Dr. Andrew Mulwa that is contained on page 67 to, in the volume, if you go to volume 1, page 67 to page, all the way to just briefly, so that we are factual. All the way to page 77, we have annexed the affidavit of, the witness affidavit of Dr. Andrew Mulwa.
Okay.
And on it, we have also exhibited SMS messages.
Honorable Mutuse.
Yes.
I think we've seen the affidavit. You've said it's at page 67, eh?
Yes, page 67 of volume 1.
Yeah, and you've said the Deputy President interfered with this, attempted to interfere with this tender process, eh?
It is the evidence.
Where is that evidence so that we can conclude our testimony?
It is the evidence on oath of Dr. Andrew Mulwa.
Is that the one at page 70?
If I read, and Dr. Mulwa is available for purposes of this, he says, on or around 11th July 2023, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua called me from his mobile phone number, and he has given the number there, on my mobile number, and the number is there. This is on page 68. On my page 68, volume 1. Page 68, volume 1, paragraph 4. On my mobile number, and pressured me to surrender to his proxy the original bid bond submitted by Shobika Impex Limited for the above tender. He told me that he would send a proxy to collect the original bid bond. He goes ahead to state, Dr. Ikino Rigathi, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua's son, called and sent a WhatsApp message from mobile number indicated, claiming to be acting for and on behalf of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua's. He asked for.
Honorable Mutuse, where is that WhatsApp message exhibited so that we can end up?
Go to page 70.
Page 70.
Go to page 70.
Page 70 of your volume.
You will see WhatsApp messages that are exhibited.
Okay.
From the phone of Dr. Ikino Rigathi.
Who is Ikino Rigathi?
He's a son to Rigathi Gachagua, and the message says as follows. Hello, Dr. Ikino Rigathi here. Kindly contact me when possible. There's a document for HE. HE is the short form for His Excellency. We are trying to collect. He was not collecting his own document. He was not collecting
so we can stop there.
A public document. He was collecting a document for HE.
We can stop there, Honorable Mutuse. Now, finally, Honorable Mutuse, have you sworn an affidavit to support these allegations against the Deputy President?
Yes, indeed. I saw.
Where is this affidavit in your
In volume 1
Yes.
of our bundle of documents, at page 41 of 85, page 41 all the way to page